Welcome to Red-tastic. Story 1. My family and I grew up very poor. From when I was old enough until now that I work, I, 19 female, have had to take on multiple jobs while balancing school to help with my family and my younger sister. Growing up, I never had a lot, and whatever money I earned, I would spend on my sister, 16 female, and family. When I was 18 and had been just accepted into college, my dad's business that he worked on for the past couple of years finally took off. This also meant that my sister could now have a normal high school experience without worrying about money. While I was in college, I wasn't in contact with my sister that much since I was so busy with schoolwork. However, from our calls and her social media, I could tell she had changed completely and was involved with some bad people. She would post videos on her Snapchat of her getting drunk, smoking weed, driving while most likely drunk or high, etc. I tried reaching out to her, but she would mostly deny the claims and told me to mind my own business. At some point, she justified her actions using the argument, "This is what the cool kids do now. Not everyone is a nerd like you in high school." One of my high school friends, who also has a brother in the same grade, reached out to me and said that she heard that my sister was seeing a sketchy guy from another school. Apparently, he sells drugs and was expelled from my sister's high school. I asked my sister about this and she denied it. Last week, I got a phone call from my mom who was sobbing. She tells me that my sister is pregnant. I was so shocked that I could not speak. Then I was angry. When I was her age and even younger, I gave her everything, and so did my parents, so she could have all the opportunities her peers had. Since my dad's business became lucrative, they've given her every opportunity to succeed. Any extracurricular, sports she wants, academic tutoring, school activities, etc. I never got any of those things. It angered me so much that she took all of this for granted and freaked up her life. The father, her delinquent boyfriend who got expelled and sells drugs. She blows up my phone, but I don't respond. She then sends me a series of long text messages asking if she can crash at my place. She also asked me if I could make her an appointment to see a doctor. Lastly, she asked if it would be okay if her boyfriend comes and stays over sometimes. I shut her down. I told her that you dug this hole for yourself. If you allowed yourself to become pregnant, then you should be able to deal with the consequences. Also, I'm currently sharing a small apartment with 2 roommates. She begged some more, and I denied her. In the past few days, she has been texting me and calling me non-stop, saying that she has nowhere to go and has been living in her boyfriend's car. I haven't responded to a single message of hers, but I feel my resolve wavering a bit. I don't fully support her, but maybe I'm being an a-hole. Edit. To clarify, I would still never house her in my apartment. That would be extremely disrespectful towards my roommates and would get me kicked out due to the lease agreement. I meant I was considering giving in and sending her some money. My parents have disowned her, not kicked her out. They are refusing to acknowledge that she is their daughter, but she is still welcome to live in their house. She chose not to since my parents are absolutely fuming and probably will yell at her and criticize her, which she honestly needs. Update. In my last post, I stated that my sister was still living in the car of a delinquent boyfriend who sells drugs and refusing to come home because my parents had disowned her. At this point, I would like to clarify that my family and I are Chinese, and it is common in Chinese culture to disown your kids when they do something that largely disappoints or embarrasses you. However, this is not a permanent disownment like many of you have brought up. As long as my sister apologizes sincerely and they can see that she is actively trying to fix her mistake and become better, they will take her back as their daughter. Another clarification would be for those people who assumed that my dad kept us poor since he was stubborn and wanted to work on his business and not get a real job. His business was a passion project on the side. My dad was working 50 hours a week at 2 jobs. Alrighty, onto what ultimately happened with my sister. Despite the chain of advice I sent her, she ignored me still. I regularly checked up on her the following week to see how she was, and she gave me one-word replies until she stopped. I was growing concerned after she didn't pick up my calls, but then I received a call from my parents. According to my mom, my sister had returned home crying and begging for forgiveness. She had a serious talk with my parents where she apologized for her behavior and promised to make amends. My mom was very tearful as well. They scheduled a doctor's appointment for her immediately, and I believe she went in the next day. I had no idea what made her finally return home, so I texted her. First, I told her I was proud of her for taking action and being mature, and asked if anything happened between her and her boyfriend. At first, she was pretty stubborn and kept insisting that she was just living in his car, but after a while, she finally admitted that her boyfriend had requested that she start selling for him if she wanted to keep living in his car and eating his food that he was sneaking her. LMAO, what a freaking a-hole. Glad my sister finally returned to her senses. She told me she broke it off with him, and I sincerely hope that's the truth. This past Monday, she got the pills to successfully terminate her pregnancy. According to my mom, she was begging that they do it ASAP, which was really a breath of relief for all of us because we were worried she might want to keep it. The future seems pretty bright for her right now. My parents decided to pull her out of the public school and send her to a progressive private school that some of my close friends also went to. It's a fantastic school, and I think it would be best for her. She's officially starting next Monday. I'm going to visit her and my family this weekend and see how she's doing. Edit. Forgot to add that the new school also has a wonderful counseling department. I urged my parents to speak to the head psychologist there, and they did, and she will be having mandatory weekly meetings with her and another therapist at the school. OP, I'm delighted she's changing schools since it could be a life-changing experience for her. She must be encouraged to make new acquaintances at a new school, since she will continue to look for a place to belong outside of her family. A sense of belonging is important throughout one's life, and she initially sorted with the incorrect group. Remember that while family is vital, friends can just have as much of an impact at times. If she doesn't fit in with a new group, I can imagine her going back to hang out with her old buddies. People can change if they are motivated within and externally. Best wishes. Now for some comments. I was getting anxious reading that story and thinking she needed an intervention to abort the fetus. So glad she came to her senses and that she left that loser drug dealer. He'll wind up in jail and she's got a second chance at life. You have a good family. Please get her to go on birth control. No matter the environment, if she finds someone to have sex with, it is possible this will happen again. If your parents are too traditional to provide, I hope you will help her with preventative care. It's great that you've got her a therapist. I just want to mention that not all therapists mesh well with every patient, so it would be great if you offered her an alternative therapist if she doesn't like this one. You've done great, and this isn't a criticism, just a tip. A bad therapist is worse than no therapist, so it's important that she gets to meet more than one, especially if she's forced to go. Again, good job, OP. Story 2. For a long time, my mom was very depressed and thus a bit absent. She was home quite often but didn't have the mental capacity to deal with anyone besides her own problems. So I, 19 female, always had to deal with those myself. The real problem was my brother. He had some real behavioral issues as well as some anger issues and often took it out on me. No matter what I do, he wouldn't stop, and our mom didn't do anything to stop it. Some examples of things he did: steal money from my wallet, hide my keys, passport, school books, destroy or hide my belongings, mess with my room, pour soda on the bed, paint on the walls, listen to very loud music all night, cut big chunks out of my hair while I slept, etc. I was constantly stressed. I got a job working weekends when I was 15, so I could afford a lock on my door to protect my belongings. He acted like this for years. I started college this year and moved out ASAP. My mom, who's been doing a bit better mentally, got very sad and asked me to promise to come over often and call every day. I told her that's not happening, that she pretended I didn't exist for years and that I don't want her to start now. I called her neglectful and selfish and left. That was 2 days ago, and since then my phone is blowing up with crying voicemails, angry or very depressed texts, plus texts from several family members calling me entitled and rude. I do feel bad. It was my brother causing all those problems, not her. But she's also our mom, and I feel like she should have stepped in. But she was dealing with some serious mental shit. So am I the a-hole? Edit. My brother is 2 years older than me, if that matters. The problem started when I was 13 and became less when I was 17. But it never disappeared. The family doesn't know why though. My mom hasn't told them. I talked to my grandparents and one of my aunts and uncles about the situation. My grandparents were very dismissive and pretty much told me to get over it, be an adult, and don't take it out on my mom. My aunt and uncle were very shocked. They had no idea. They've been very sympathetic and are helping me look into options for therapy. Some people said I'm punishing my mom for being depressed or that I resent her. I don't know if I do. I just want some space and maybe try to talk it out later. For now, I'm too busy to worry much about it. OP, you are not the a-hole. This is a classic case of an abusive situation's participants asking that the victim yield in order to continue, so they may act as if everything is normal. They are confronted with their role in your maltreatment when you decide you've had enough and set up walls. OP, hold your ground with her and explain why to the rest of the family, because she won't. Tell them everything your brother did and didn't do in one long list, then refuse to talk about it any further. Best regards, OP. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Obvious reasons. Having said that, maybe this is what your mom needed to realize her absenteeism is having on your life. I'm going through this somewhat with my wife right now, and it's hard. Though I don't have someone abusing my stuff, but them just not being there for you emotionally and physically with normal parent stuff is hard. If you actually explain to your family members why, then maybe they can help her get some help. If she gets help, I would 1000% suggest that you try and get her back in your life though. Your brother can stay the hell out of it though. The truth about what your brother did to you isn't all about your mom, her dirty laundry. It's about what happened to you, and what happened is that your brother wasn't just doing sibling stuff to annoy you. He was assaulting you, destroying belongings, cutting your hair, and your mother enabled it by ignoring what was happening. She may have had mental health problems, but you lived for years under attack all the time. Not the a-hole. Neglect is abusive. Not doing her job as a parent in an adequate way to protect you is abusive. And your brother definitely was abusive to you. You wouldn't put up with that behavior from a boyfriend, would you? It's the same premise. It's okay. It's not always easy to accept some things, and abuse is on a sliding scale. But you don't have to downplay what happened to you. You've worked through a really difficult childhood and are trying to care for yourself as an adult. That's exactly where your focus should be right now, not on your abusive family. You are so not the a-hole.